Hey Steelers Nation, what's up everyone? Buckle in because today we're diving deep into what's really going on with Aaron Rodgers and the current state of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And look, there's no easy way to say it. Something feels off. The more you watch him, the more it seems like the same story is starting to repeat itself. Rodgers looks like he's running for his life out there. He's not moving with purpose. He's moving out of desperation. Every snap looks like survival mode. The guy who once made escaping pressure look like an art form now looks like he's scrambling just to avoid disaster. It's that same uneasy vibe we saw back when he was struggling in New Jersey last season. A quarterback constantly on the run, ducking hits, dodging chaos, trying to make something out of nothing while the protection in front of him just collapses. The offensive line has been a real issue, no question about it. They're letting him get hit, they're missing assignments, and as a result, Rodgers is paying the price. You can see the wear and tear in his body language. He's getting frustrated. He's taking hits that no 41-year-old quarterback should still be taking, and honestly, it's starting to show up in his throws. Those off-balance passes, those forced decisions, those unnecessary scrambles, it's all connected. It's almost like he's forgotten that sometimes the best move isn't to run away. It's to hang in there and take control of the play. That's exactly what brought down Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh not too long ago. Remember when Russ tried to relive his Seattle glory days by taking off on broken plays, thinking he could still outrun linebackers? And every single time, he'd get dragged down, and everyone watching would be like, what on earth is he doing? That's the energy we're seeing from Rodgers right now. It's déjà vu, only with a different jersey and the same disappointing result. The crazy thing is, if you look back at his early season stretch, there was hope. In Week 3 against New England, he wasn't sacked a single time. Clean pocket, calm presence, sharp reads. That was the Rodgers everyone expected. Then came Dublin, where he got hit twice but still played efficiently, completing 18 of 22 passes for 200 yards. Smooth, precise, efficient football. After that, against Cleveland, no sacks again despite facing that fierce Browns front. The guy looked in rhythm. Then against Cincinnati, still no sacks, still steady. But then something shifted when the Packers came to town. Maybe he was facing his old team, maybe it was emotions running high, but that's when the bad habits started to creep back in. Suddenly, he was jumping at shadows, running at the first sign of pressure, and that calm rhythm disappeared. 3 sacks that game. Then 3 more against the Colts. Then 3 more against the Chargers, including one that ended in a safety. And with each hit, each hurried throw, each busted drive, his numbers went down, completion percentage, yardage, efficiency, all trending in the wrong direction. And the low point? That ugly showing in Englewood. 16 completions on 31 attempts, barely over 160 yards, 1 meaningless late touchdown, 2 interceptions, and not a single completion longer than 27 yards. Just flat, lifeless football. No spark, no rhythm, no command. You could feel it even watching from home. This wasn't just an off day, this was something deeper. But here's the thing. It's too early to completely write him off. We're still talking about Aaron Rodgers. 4-time MVP. Super Bowl champion. One of the most intelligent quarterbacks the game has ever seen. He's earned the benefit of the doubt. And considering how well he started this season, how much he's accomplished at his age, in this system, with all the pressure and scrutiny that comes with it, you can't just throw him to the side and say he's done. Not yet. Still, let's be real. He's not getting younger. 41 years old, 21 seasons of wear, countless hits. The man's body has been through a war. You can see he's got no interest in taking those hits anymore. And who could blame him? Nobody wants to get slammed into the turf by 300-pound linemen every Sunday. But that hesitation, that self-preservation instinct, it's starting to hurt his play. You can see the frustration bubbling up. He's looking to the sideline, shaking his head. You can read his lips sometimes. He's upset with his receivers for dropping passes, upset with the line for breaking down, maybe even questioning the play calls. And look, that's understandable, but leadership isn't just about calling out what's wrong. It's about steadying the ship when everything's falling apart. Here's a thought that might sting a little. If Rodgers wants to get out of this slump, he might have to take a page from Mason Rudolph's book. Yeah, I said it. Back in the 2023 season, when the Steelers quarterbacks were getting destroyed on every drop back, Mason came in and just stood there. He didn't flinch. He didn't bail from the pocket. He hung in, took the hits, delivered the football. And that changed everything. The offensive line gained confidence because they knew where their guy would be. The running game improved because the rhythm returned. Receivers trusted the timing again. One player standing tall in chaos turned the whole offense around. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't heroic, it was discipline. And that's what Rodgers needs right now. Less scrambling, more trust. Less chaos, more control. Of course, saying that is easier than living it. You can't teach instinct, and Rodgers has always relied on that sixth sense of when to escape. But at this point, maybe he needs to fight that instinct, not follow it. Because every time he bolts out of the pocket, the play collapses, the protection breaks, and the offense loses its identity. And that's the real issue right now. This team doesn't have an offensive identity. That falls partly on Rodgers, but also points directly at Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator. The numbers don't lie. Pittsburgh ranks 29th in total offense. That's not just bad, that's bottom tier in the entire league. Only a few teams are worse, and none of them are exactly playoff material. That says something. You can point to flashes here and there, middle-of-the-pack scoring numbers, some efficient red zone drives, but too many of those came from short fields after turnovers. The offense isn't creating on its own. It's reacting. It's surviving. And survival mode doesn't win championships. What frustrates a lot of fans is that the promise was there early in the year. This was supposed to be a physical, run-heavy attack. Big tight ends, power sets, pounding the rock, wearing defenses down. The kind of old-school Pittsburgh football that defines the city. But instead of sticking to that identity, the game plans have drifted all over the place. You get second and short, and instead of feeding your backs or going with a quick tight end slant, you get a deep shot that stalls the drive. One mistake, one penalty, and suddenly third down becomes impossible. It's not just poor execution, it's poor direction. And that's where Rodgers' leadership comes in again. Because the quarterback sets the tone. When he's jumpy, the line gets shaky. When he's calm, they settle down. When he trusts the pocket, the offense breathes. That's what's missing. You can have all the talent in the world, but if your quarterback's body language screams panic, it spreads. That's what made Mason's stint so remarkable. He gave everyone else belief. Rodgers has to find that version of himself again. The cool, confident, unshakable leader who dictates the pace instead of reacting to it. The version that used to make defenses nervous just by walking on the field. Right now, it feels like Rodgers is playing not to lose rather than playing to win. You can sense it. The quick throws, the hesitation to step into pressure, the moments where he looks down instead of downfield. It's all fear-based football. And that's not who he's supposed to be. He's the guy who turns broken plays into highlights, who threads impossible passes into windows nobody else sees. But to do that, he needs faith in himself, in his line, in his coordinator. And that trust is fragile right now. You can't rebuild it overnight, but you can start by doing the simple things right. Stay in the pocket. Deliver the ball. Trust your teammates to do their jobs. You know what really stands out in all this? The way the entire offense seems to be moving in slow motion. It's not just Rodgers who looks off. It's like everyone around him is a step behind, unsure of what comes next. And that's what happens when an offense doesn't have a real direction. You can see receivers hesitating on their routes, linemen looking lost on stunts, running backs unsure whether to chip or release. It's like a band where every instrument is playing its own rhythm. Nobody's in sync, and when that happens in football, it's not just ugly, it's unwatchable. Rodgers thrives in structure disguised as chaos. When he was at his best, he created magic inside of a system that understood how to let him be creative. He could improvise because the foundation was solid. But here, there's no solid foundation. Every play feels improvised, like the offense is just holding its breath and hoping for something to click. That's not how you win in this league. The great quarterbacks always talk about rhythm, timing, precision. Those things are missing right now, and it shows. When the Steelers' offense steps on the field, there's no energy. There's no conviction. The play calling feels predictable. like defenders know exactly what's coming before the ball is even snapped. You can practically see safeties creeping up, linebackers timing their blitzes perfectly, corners jumping routes. And when you're that easy to read, it's not just about execution anymore. It's about identity. The Steelers used to strike fear because you didn't know what version of them you'd get. Now it feels like everyone does. Arthur Smith's fingerprints are all over that. He came in with a reputation for balance, for creativity in a run game, for physicality. That hasn't materialized. Instead, we've seen an offense that sputters, that overthinks simple situations, that refuses to lean into its strengths. There have been flashes, those games where the running backs got going early, where the play action worked, where tight ends were used as bruisers instead of decoys, but they never build on it. It's like they stumble onto something that works, then abandon it the next week as if they're allergic to consistency. And here's the thing. This roster isn't built for high-flying offense. It's built for grind-it-out, punch-you-in-the-mouth football. The Steelers should be setting the tone with heavy sets, running right through defenders, controlling the clock, and letting the defense feast. That's the DNA of this franchise. Always has been. But lately, they've drifted so far from that identity, it's almost unrecognizable. Instead of pounding the ball on second and short, they're dropping back and letting Rodgers take another hit. Instead of feeding Jalen Warren or Najee Harris to soften up defenses, they're trying trick plays or deep shots that never connect. It's self-inflicted chaos. You can feel the frustration building among the players. Watch the body language. After incomplete passes, you see heads drop. After another sack, you see hands go up in disbelief. It's that quiet tension that eats away at a team. And Rodgers, for all his experience, has to find a way to break that. He can't be the guy rolling his eyes or muttering under his breath after a missed block. He has to be the one who resets the tone, who rallies everyone back into focus. Because right now, it looks like a team waiting for someone else to fix it. The Steelers have been here before. They've had offenses stuck in neutral, waiting for a spark. The difference this time is that expectations were sky high. Bringing in Rodgers wasn't just about experience. It was about belief. It was supposed to be the move that pushed them into real contention. But instead of being the steadying hand, he's become part of the storm. And maybe that's unfair. Maybe that's the weight of being a legend in decline. But the NFL doesn't give passes for reputation. It's a week-to-week business, and right now, his weeks have been rough. Still, it's not all doom and gloom. There are glimmers of what this could be if they recalibrate. The defense continues to keep them in games. The running game, when it's actually used, shows flashes of life. The receivers, though inconsistent, have the potential to stretch the field. The pieces are there. It's just that nobody's putting them together in the right way. That's what makes this stretch so maddening. You can see what it could be, but you're watching what it currently is. Rodgers has to adapt. He's at the point in his career where mobility isn't his greatest weapon anymore. It's his mind. The way he reads defenses, manipulates safeties, adjusts protections. That's where his edge lies now. But when he panics and bails out early, all that advantage disappears. He has to trust his preparation again. He has to outthink the defense, not outrun it. Because those legs that used to save him can't save him anymore. His mind still can, though. That's where the turnaround starts. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL rumor mill has kicked into overdrive once again. And this time the name, making waves, is none other than Odell Beckham Jr. Multiple reports swirling around league circles suggest that the veteran wide receiver is on the brink of signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a move that could shake up the AFC North landscape if it comes to fruition. While no official statement has been released by either camp, sources close to the situation hint that negotiations have reached an advanced stage, with only minor contractual details separating both sides from a formal announcement. What's fueling the speculation is a series of cryptic social media posts from Beckham himself, including a black and gold heart emoji that sent fans spiraling into excitement and confusion alike. Insiders claim that the Steelers' front office has been quietly monitoring Beckham's availability for weeks, viewing him as a potential missing piece in an offense that has struggled to find consistency through the air. With their young quarterback showing flashes but still searching for a reliable deep threat, Beckham's experience and flair could offer exactly the spark needed to balance Pittsburgh's bruising ground game. There are also whispers that a meeting between Beckham and key Steelers players took place earlier this week at a private venue in Los Angeles. Though nothing has been confirmed, one source described the gathering as productive and positive, noting that chemistry and leadership were central topics of discussion. Financial details remain murky, but reports indicate the Steelers are willing to offer a short-term, incentive-heavy contract designed to reward performance while maintaining cap flexibility. Beckham, who has battled injuries in recent seasons, is said to be motivated by the prospect of proving he can still perform at an elite level, and doing so in one of the league's most storied franchises only adds to the allure. Whether this deal becomes official or fades into the pile of off-season speculation remains to be seen. But in a city where football borders on religion, the idea of Odell Beckham Jr. donning the black and gold is already sending shockwaves through Pittsburgh, and the rest of the NFL is watching closely. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.